welcome to another live, recorded but live episode of Mita Unshackled. We're here at Mita in Phoenix, Arizona. It is May 31st, right? It's May 1st. Demetri Downing, your host, back, and pleased to be joined by the team from Plant Body Soul, who has their own podcast, but we're doing like a little meld tonight to this live thing. There's all kinds of people here hanging about, but let me first introduce the group from Plant Body and Soul who'll be taking over for the rest of the night. A couple minutes here. Gordon, Tayla, is that right? Tayla, I got it right. And Jen. You guys want to introduce yourselves to the audience out there?
Sure. Thanks for having us. I'm Gordon Ogden. I'm one of the co-founders and managing partners at Plant Body Soul.
And I am Jennifer Miles, and I am also co-founder and managing partner at Plant Body Soul.
My name is Tayla. I am the director of content for Plant Body and Soul.
And what is Plant? Well, let's talk about it tonight later. But first, what is Plant Body Soul? Who wants to take that one?
Plant Body Soul is a creative marketing and branding agency, and we have a specialty in all things plant, body, and soul. So we have a lot of amazing cannabis clients that we work with here in the Valley, as well as starting to venture out into new markets in the United States. We also work with psychedelic businesses, and so right now we're working with some ketamine clinics, actually one specifically that has a couple of locations here in Arizona, and also starting to branch out into other states. And then we also work with a lot of health and wellness businesses. We also work with anything that's soul igniting, so art and music, food, travel, so all the things.
Excellent. And I know your clients, some of our members, our friends are all here tonight, right? There's a lot, like I think the entire Arizona cannabis industry sends someone here tonight.
Yes.
I think you're right.
Agreed. And we work with almost all of them. I mean, we, from everything from social media to influencer management to content creation to brand activation, which is really our events department. So we have quite a breadth of services, and we have a lot of amazing clients that are here tonight.
And this is like part of like what a brand would do to activate. I always say like Mita is like the first place to start.
Yep.
Well, first get your manufacturing license, you produce your product, get your deals. And you start Mita, you meet your people, you meet Plant Body and Soul, you work with Plant Body and Soul, and they get you out there into, it's like levels. It's like building, you know, Mita's like this core group of industry professionals, which is like a little bit of a buzz that starts, it's like a seed.
Sure.
And then you guys are like, you know, putting water on the seed, and you're the root that breaks through.
It's such a good metaphor.
Yes,
That's a good one.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, I just have to say, like, I got my start here at Mita with you. And I helped you plan events here in this space.
It's crazy, huh?
It is.
This was where I started with Mita events at this location before you moved it to the Foundry. So it's just amazing how things come full circle, and how, like, if you do show up here and you show up with integrity and the right intention and willingness to help, things it will get you far. So,
you know, things are constantly evolving in the cannabis industry. I mean, I've been in it for 10 years now, and there's always kinds of different things happening because it's an undefined country. It's an undefined industry that has no norms, no regulations, no traditions. I guess it did, but they were all thrown out the window with the new market structure, regulatory structure models. All the legacy has kind of just been left on the side. You know, I always wondered, like, maybe they could have turned it over to the cartels or something, but that's not important. But so, you know, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, 6 years ago, was there any like prediction that we would be doing some sort of ESPN style game day podcast here at Mita?
Not at all. I would have never guessed that we would be sitting here right now doing this.
And it's now like 5 times as big or something.
Yep.
It is. It's massive, and what you've created here is quite impressive. And I think it's expanded beyond just brands. I mean, you obviously have FAs and DAs here. So it's extended beyond just the B2B, really. It's bringing in the greater cannabis community.
And Tayla, what do you do for Plant Body and Soul? We probably should talk about what you and Gordon do too.
I create content. I'm really lucky to be able to kind of do my dream job. I always say I'm a professional daydreamer. I get a chance to create the most amazing, captivating, engaging content for a variety of really cool brands in Arizona, and it feels like something that I needed. So.
She's a rock star.
She is, yes.
And Gordon, what's your role?
My role, I'm responsible for the delivery of our services to meet the expectations of our clients.
Sounds very technical.
It is. Well,
That does sound like fun.
It's
Your guys are sounding fun.
Exactly. It's making sure that we deliver and we do what we say we're going to do.
Yes. Sound like he's auditing or something, you know?
Yeah, seriously. It's a lot.
I want your job.
Yeah.
Well, but what is my job at Plant Body Soul? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know?
You are the overseer of all things Plant Body Soul.
I would say that Gordon and I split that job.
Yes.
But I would be the director of events and experience. Also in charge of some of the things in terms of operations within our organization. Definitely the health and wellness cheerleader and the interior designer of our space.
Still sounds more fun than his job.
Yeah.
Right.
I
think it is. But I have fun. I love our...
Maybe it's the terms he uses or something.
It's just, it's truly the delivery of what we do for our clients.
Yeah, making people happy.
Making people
That's a
happy.
good job.
That's
The
what we
delivery
do.
is important. That expectation of quality is really important.
Yes.
The good stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, I think Plant Body Soul, I mean, you guys are on the cutting edge of advertising and branding and marketing in cannabis. You
And
know, it's-
psychedelics.
And psychedelics. And
Yeah.
it's just beginning.
Yes.
You know, it must be a challenge to figure out how to do it. You know, and I can't figure out how to do it. I mean, people are always asking me what to do, and I'm like, well, start with the employees of the dispensary. Kind of we're the low-hanging fruit here, you know, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But you guys' job is much more complicated. How do you figure that out?
It's certainly more challenging today than it was 4 years ago, but it's always been somewhat difficult. It's more competitive now. So a brand can't just show up and think that it's going to sell because it's cannabis. You have to have a brand around your product. And that's what consumers are looking for. They're looking for brands that speak to them, that are they identify with emotionally.
So do you guys get involved with the designing of brands from the outset, or once they're like
Yes.
infused over here?
From the spark of the idea to the name, to the mark, to the voice,
To the mantra.
the mantra, the whole package.
Okay, so either or, if somebody just has an idea, they want to create a brand, they start with you, or if they're way down the line and they want to like infuse,
Improve it.
take it one step further, and you guys have ideas for them. So you work with the people across the board.
Absolutely.
See, I didn't understand that, but now I do.
Yeah.
So I just assumed everybody who wants to improve their brand came to you, but I did not know, like, if somebody says, I have an idea for a brand, but I don't know what to do next.
Correct.
That's from...
We can help them get clear on what to do next and give them some guidance based on our experience and expertise.
This. Oh, look, there's Ray. Ray was here. It's always good to see him.
Hi.
We're
be
getting,
seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah.
he's no, that's right. He's
Yes.
having an event
right.
tomorrow
Yes,
night.
yes, yes.
It's always good to see him.
Yes.
I hope you're having a good time, Ray. He's like, pay attention.
I'd love to just also share something. I mean, we are unique for not only like the creative side, but we are unique because of the types of experiences that we create for B2B and B2C. But additionally, we're offering something that is even more niche and unusual for a marketing agency, and that's Content Creator Camp. So we're actually teaching people how to be content creators within the cannabis space and in a compliant, creative way. So I wanted to just toss it over to Tayla so that she can explain a little bit about what we're doing with this new offering.
And maybe you can help us too, because I mean, I guess it matters if you're compliant, because you might get removed from a
It
platform and
does.
stuff. So
It matters a whole lot. And the cool thing about cannabis is that it forces you to be more creative in the type of content that you're putting out and the thought process of how you're creating that content. And a lot of times, if you're not doing it correctly, you don't post it correctly, you're not compliant, you're doing a lot of that work for nothing, just to get shadow banned, to get your account taken. And so we are able to create a program that helps people to create content for cannabis, whether that's for a brand, a personal brand, a glass company, anything, that's going to be able to remain evergreen online, perform well, and not put your account at risk. It's similar to when content creators kind of first were able to become a business or an entity. It was uncharted waters, nobody knew what they were doing, and the people who did the research and experimented were able to get the profits of that hard work. And so now we're in a new age where cannabis content creation is exploding in every market, medical state, recreational state, different provinces, countries. But the laws and the rules have not changed for social media. And so being able to create content that is compliant and is still able to exist on those platforms where we're not supposed to be is a superpower in this economy.
what kind of social media do you see like succeeding, or do you think is like the best for people to work on? You know, I mean, I know LinkedIn is where we're at most of the time.
Definitely LinkedIn for businesses is an excellent resource. Obviously, your free resources are great too. Instagram, TikTok, being able to create cannabis content on Twitter is really amazing. They have a lot of lenient rules.
I'm not on TikTok. Can you do cannabis content on TikTok?
You've got to be really clever, but yes, you can.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm not on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm not on Twitter either. I'm on Instagram.
There's some great markets. You can see a lot of creativity from anybody who's involved in these platforms, and being able to be a cannabis brand and also be creative and keep up with the trends, I think is going to help cannabis just in every step along the way.
What about like social networks specifically for cannabis? Haven't there been some pop up over the years, and are there any that are like popular?
Not a whole bunch that have stuck around. A lot of them are in their infancy, but
what was that one?
It's called High.
High something.
There's been a few.
I know.
Shoot.
There was one that did some sort of publicly traded thing out of Massachusetts that everybody was talking about.
Yeah,
it would be great if someone would figure it out, because I think we all want to see more cannabis content, just more consumers living their everyday life, enjoying the plant the way that they want to, without feeling like they have to be stigmatized or demonized online for consuming the plant.
I think I'm gonna try to I'm just gonna pull it up because
the famous
really
cannabis social media thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, and I always like to talk about this because I've had this discussion a lot lately. Is that nobody knows what cannabis is going to look like when it goes federally legal, and there's this giant assumption that it's going to be magically normalized, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's going to take the work of people like you guys and your organization to create the image and the normalcy of the new cannabis consumption.
Indeed.
And that do you guys see that? Obviously, that's why we started our business.
Yeah.
Is that you see is that happening?
Definitely. If we can create events that are incredible events but happen to have cannabis there, as opposed to cannabis being the main focus, you're going to attract more people that are going to come to a great event and then maybe try a low-dose product and then be open to more. So we try and create these amazing events where cannabis is the spice of the event.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I found the social platform.
Yes.
It's called High Curious.
High Curious.
Yes.
That's the one I remember, but
yeah,
sure.
that is one that popped up recently, and I see her, the founder Lauren. I'm not familiar with her last name, but I see her everywhere. So I believe that she is having some success in getting the platform out there. So.
Right, but the real nuances in doing what you guys do, we're like this little seed, then you guys are the root, and putting it out there into what direction and how do you touch the greater universe, and make more people aware, because that's really the broader community that all the brands and dispensaries want to reach.
Absolutely.
Right. It's important to take care of your seedlings, but
for sure,
that is an art,
Yes.
and it's a challenge too, and it's because I constantly think about this subject. What is cannabis going to look like, especially because everywhere I go, I see alcohol.
Yeah.
And every time I see alcohol more, I'm like, what does alcohol have to do with a bar mitzvah? What does alcohol have to do with a post-funeral? So,
Yes.
Right.
you know,
It's
remember
just, it's just a socially acceptable, sparkle to a gathering, whereas if we can shift the conversation where cannabis is the socially acceptable sparkle to the gathering, then enhancement of whatever you're doing. And something I was just reading actually earlier, the Minnesota just legalized cannabis, right, for adult use, and they're allowing low dose edibles or beverages, I believe, to be sold or consumed in the same place that alcohol is. That's huge. That is groundbreaking. That's not happening anywhere else. So I'll be interested to see.
it's definitely not happening here.
No, it's not. I mean, when we're functioning in a market in Arizona specifically, where we're still having to collapse the liquor license,
Yes.
to be able to have a cannabis event with a 0 proof cocktail that's microdosed,
Right.
with THC. So
Here we're separate. We have cannabis over here, and then there's a little bar over there.
right, yep,
God knows people aren't mixing it.
no,
That just doesn't happen.
never.
It does not happen.
I went to. I'm sorry. Just let me tell you a story. I went to a Cypress Hill concert. It was Woodstock, 1994,
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
in upstate New York.
yeah.
And Cypress Hill comes out, and I'm drinking. I'm 94. I was a teenage, college, Boston University, and I'm drinking. And then Cypress Hill comes out, and then suddenly the entire place lights up at the same
yeah.
time. I was like, everybody has
It's
pot too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
what's
I was-
going on here?
I wasn't at Woodstock in '94, but in '93 or something, I was at the Up and Smoke tour with Cypress Hill and House of Pain in LA.
Yes.
And wow, yeah, that same thing. And I
Yeah.
think Farside was there. It was quite an epic show, and all of a sudden it was like the whole place might as well have been like a cannabis party.
I'm sorry. And I love mad props for the boys at Cypress Hill. Are there girls at Cypress Hill too? And
No,
other,
no.
but mad props for Cypress Hill. I feel you got to say that nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
because you don't know.
They're groundbreaking. Yeah.
There's a lot of people here lined up for M-Fused.
I
Did you
would
notice
say
that?
So,
Yes.
They're like the most popular thing ever here at Meetup.
Wow.
This is incredible. What are they doing? Are you following their branding at all?
Honestly, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, they're new to the market.
Okay.
You
yeah.
know, because
So-
they're from Washington.
Okay.
And they just started in Arizona. You know, but I'm trying to figure out what they're doing over there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem the line's not moving very much. So.
Yeah, that's strange too. We'll have to figure all these things out, as we go. But what do you see out there? What do you guys see out there? Stuff that brands are doing that works that you like?
For me personally, I really like brands that think outside the box, that are getting creative.
Right.
I get really bored when it's like the same thing over and over again. Like, I think something that we do that when I see other brands doing it that pique my interest is getting involved with communities outside of cannabis, getting creative with like art and music and food and all the things that are not necessarily within the cannabis vacuum.
Yeah.
That's what is really exciting to me. Some, brands that are doing something different, daring to do something different, thinking outside of the box.
And
I would actually second that for content, in the sense that being able to reach communities in social media outside of cannabis, there's a very tight-knit, very well-established cannabis community
That's my dad
in
just showed
Arizona.
up. He's taking a photo. Sorry.
It's
I
okay.
didn't know. Your thought. You were saying.
It's okay. We love dads.
You were seconding that. It's Father's Day on Sunday.
It is.
Is it?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Following week. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Father's Day. You could sell cannabis on Father's Day. Father's Day thing. You probably don't give that to some of your brands. Probably haven't thought about that. What's your Father's Day promotion? Sorry.
I think that being able to reach audiences outside of just the tight-knit community that Arizona cannabis communities have created is really important. You get a little bit further away from just the immediate core and realize that everybody kind of smokes a little bit of weed in all walks of life, at all ages, at all parts of their professionalism, like everybody smokes just a little bit of weed. And so being able to market to those people without being outright obvious in their face allows you to grow as a brand, as a community, all the above.
Well,
That's good advice.
I really appreciate you guys. We're going to wrap this one up. So I want to make sure that there's going to be more and more podcasts coming out after this one. But how do people get in touch with you guys? And then I'll let you guys take over.
Well, you can find us on plantbodysoul.com on our website. I highly recommend signing up for our email list because we do first drops on events. We actually have an event coming up on Friday called Friday High Day, and that is our 420 happy hour. We also are on Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn, but you can find us on Insta at plant.body.soul. And we're about to release a podcast.
Yes, I'm looking forward to hearing you guys' podcast.
So, yeah.
And how do people get on your email list so they can find out about all these events that you guys do?
Visit our website.
The website.
Yeah, plantbodysoul.com. And sign
That's
up.
an email list you should be on because they're doing all kinds of interesting things now.
Yeah.
And stuff that they haven't even imagined yet that's going to come about as this industry's advertising, marketing, events, normalcy, bobs and weaves into the future.
Oh, we've got some really fun things planned. We have some fun things planned.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes, we are working on that, and we'll have a whole podcast about that. But sign up for the email list, which is the fastest way to find out about everything they're up to. And if you're watching this, you'll probably sign up for Mita's email list as well. So we look forward to sharing with you more people who are here at Mita. This is like packed in here.
It is packed.
We're gonna let Plant Body and Soul take over, and then we'll be back with the owner of M Fused at 7:30. Well, that's like 2 or 3 podcasts from now.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.